Waiting to get onto the map for this one. We're just about ready to start our third and final map of the day here in our second series. Remember, this is day 3 too, so there's already been a lot of Swiss play in this stage here for Verizon Game Changers North America, as we have FlyQuest Red versus Aussie Friends going at it one more time. Somebody has to take the loss here, and I only say that because both teams are 2-0. And this will tarnish the record. Who comes out with the W as we start our pistol round of map 3?
Here we go. I hyped up, you know, the Viper being the one to take the engagement over towards B main, but look who's in the hot seat. A Lovely up first. We're getting a lot of pressure out of Aussie and Friends here in Garden, and we'll see what she can find. Again, the Harbor really good for cutting off some of these angles, but the Sheriff.
Oh. Attempting the trade. Almost down to the last bullet too, or down to the last bullet I should say, almost using the whole chamber there for the second peek. And that's just going to be an insert. Marceline maybe a little bit later in the round to show herself, but now they start to rotate back to see if this activated any defensive push from FlyQuest.
Yeah, it definitely felt like just a pistol round strat. Draw out info, draw out some damage. They wanted confirmation on the rotation to A, and she is going to get it one way or another. And, I mean, the frag on Lydia is just an upgrade. She is looking to customize the entire round. Looking for seconds head-to-head against Riv. But Fly, again, not sold on this pivot to the A side just yet, despite the crossover. Look at this.
Using what space they have. Turret goes out just in time. iBUYPOWER playing it smart, playing it so they don't have to peek anything, and they use their util. The denial orb coming in now from the side of FlyQuest for the plant as all the walls going up. Remember, they lost their harbor to get in here, so it's a bit harder for AF, and they have to keep pushing forward. They do so right to the spike site, and it's not going to be enough just yet. 3v2 from the defensive side, and that's Ev coming in huge, flying by with the Ghost to get a 3K.
Nice crunch, nice attention draw from Lace there as well. I mean, your player's trying to get the spike down with time whittling away. Nice shock dart damage to finish off those players, and FlyQuest come away with the victory. I am quite surprised. Like, they saw a few crossover, and the fact they still stay B, they trust in the off-screen retake on A, they trust in the players that were still stationed there. It says volumes about how this map might go. And speaking of how this map might go, 3-2. Okay, 2 outlaws. Bob, each on opposite sides of the map. Ev working to deposit Bob deep on pipes here. And somehow every player for Aussie and Friends coming over belt here could just avoid disaster. Oh. What is going on?
Oh.
They're never gonna know.
This is
I
creepy.
just make contact.
Nobody's going up. No way, nobody's going up. That's one shot. They turn around immediately as Bob gets one, and that's going to be the look here from Lydia, who does get the kill and does get the upgrade. And that harbor being alive gives safe entry into the site here. And there are some upgrades to be picked up for the side of AF now. What damage can they do with it is the question.
Stinger, outlaw, spike planted. Strong hold here. iBUYPOWER just waiting for the rotations to come through, waiting for the lurk to develop. Look at the flank Lace has here. Bulldog, outlaw can't do damage up close, can it? And Marceline says yes, it can. Huge shutdown. Maybe sinking in the Aussie and Friends victory here at the 2v2 with time not on their side. Marceline with that outlaw that was collected from deep, deep belt. What a round. Okay.
Outlaw after outlaw. Somebody was behind enemy lines to start. Like arm's length outlaw shots too. Yeah, that was a very scattered round, but you got to give credit there to Aussie and Friends who are creating that chaos and then thriving in it. As soon as they started to push up with one, they realized how many people were there from AF. I'm sorry, from FlyQuest, and they were able to attack.
Yeah, it's usually Fly getting those cheeky second round thrifties, right?
Right.
So Aussie and Friends, last map, give Fly a taste of their own medicine there. It punished the proactivity from Bob. Bobby, you noticed, tried to get out of dodge. Like, she knew if she got into spawn, ISO was like the 3B main, they would have been safe. But speaking of safety, speaking of spawn, Lace got it for free last time, and Aussie and friends, again, you don't make the same mistakes for either of these two squads, and you can't disrespect them like this, because you're gonna get punished for it. Nice shutdown, and now, I mean, you know there could be a second player, so lean towards A. Looking pretty good.
Slow push. All this rotation back. They start to lean. Do they want sight, though? Man, it's so risky to take this back. They're not even really using the wall, are they? Okay, it is up. It is up. I was like, wait a minute. It's so brazen here coming from FlyQuest reposition, but AF already had a bit of the movement. They didn't think. Aussie and friends were so close. And they do, in tandem, just hit that sight on the right side, and it's way too much for Fly on the low buy.
Wow, good tracking from Fly, but ultimately, the economy beyond repair. Numbers weren't enough there. And Lace gets punished. Bob was left to stay B as that pillar for information. Not really much to upgrade here for Bob, so maybe just playing for exits here. Looking at the ults that they could try to deny. I mean, Slanty 3 off, 1 off the Reckoning. You don't want Lydia to get the kill here. And Lydia looks like she's the one in the hot seat to be at the receiving end of this window peek. Ooh, they know, and they get it. That's the Reckoning for next round.
Jeez. Lydia, what is this game for Lydia? This whole series has been insane. Gets another one. Like you said, Reckoning is available. AF now can really start to put the pressure on. And they went through a few rounds on Pearl where they weren't even using those ults because of the opening kills that they were finding in the round from Marceline, from different things. And then the consideration to hold the ult because of the control they had. Here, a 4-1 split. This looks like it may be one of those Reckoning rounds, though, that they would push off the team on B site once they get down that path of long here. Figure out that Thay is guarding it. Oh, yeah, Cascade into movement. They're going to take the space right away.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know they're getting aggressive A now. You know you can win the B fight by picking off a player like Lace, who's typically been there. They occupy the space. They push up. Toxic screen deployed at the ready. Deep dart in. They'll throw Thea off. Rotations are met for Fly. That's the only silver lining here. That's something they've been doing really strong. You got your Sova, you got your ISO here ready to counter. But look at the fake out here. You drew the numbers over, you pivot back to A. You're trying to cash in on the lurk from Jazzykins. But again, Fly is always searching and Bob is always forward.
Wow. And that's the second push from Bob. Just not happy. Went into nest, went back on the rope, and then was like, you know what? It's too quiet back here. I want some action. Pushes forward and gets a kill immediately on what was the solo lurk towards A, but is actually where they wanted to end with that pressure. Here's the Reckoning that we were thinking was going to end towards that B site. They start to push in. They might be met with iBUYPOWER right here in sight with 2 immediately. A third one almost through the dark.
Oh, here we go. Through the toxic screen. We've seen that be catastrophic, and it nearly is. Lydia in the 1v2. Reckoning now dissipated. Spike has to be collected. They heard the rope, and Lace locks in, challenging the snake bite. Just like that, FlyQuest bounced back the 2-2, and they neutralized that threat. They neutralized Aussie and friends round.
The back and forth to start again. It's just like Split. Just like our first map here. See if somebody can break away after the timeout, which was really the case once we saw it on that first map. Low buy in terms of armor coming from the side of FlyQuest. We did see that Reckoning used, but a Blade Storm here for Marceline is they're still pretty good on money, so they won't even forego a weapon for that. They take the weapon, they take the Blade Storm. They're going to try to come into this round strong and just end it, I think. Oh, yeah.
I do like the confidence that we're seeing out of Aussie and friends. Again, I felt like it was lacking the first 2 maps. And now here, right, they identify where they're getting aggressive and they try to challenge it head on. Bob forced to disengage, forced to give up maze control. And Marceline happy to occupy, happy to strike forward and even avoid the refrag and find out the screens. How lovely, taken swiftly out of the round.
Clean from Marceline. Oh my god, it's right on the head. It's literally right on the head. Oh, but it's the double tap on the other side. It was all the ruse from Marceline. FlyQuest knew what they were doing with that double peek. Lace keeps coming up, playing a little bit of aim labs. Just goes around, getting a few more kills.
Hilo.
And that's going to be another one. Too tough to take down. Lace with the 3K on the round as they collect another.
Wow. Thought Aussie and friends were finally turning the heat up. Marsling had a beautiful entry, but Toxic Screen comes up, the players get splintered, and I mean, Ev again is kind of the one steering the helm at these pivot points, you know? Had a really strong split even despite the loss, and it's around this map, they're starting to heat up here yet again. And I mean, Fly as well, as soon as they recognize, okay, a Sentinel's dropped, there's an opening, like, how do you somehow, as the defender, set up a high-low from Belt to close out the round against the attacking Lydia? Like, it's insanity, and giving them confidence to continue erratic plays like this.
Oh, kill contract. And there will be no distraction. Oh, there it is. Lace gets it. Still flying high after that last round, but Bob goes down within that fight. A huge push here. So Thea's letting the team know you guys can stick towards A. Just have to make sure that mid turret's still online, as iBUYPOWER actually getting the kills that they need to keep the round alive.
Things close despite the strong opening. I feel like that's the story of this map right now, but I mentioned it, as soon as you give FlyQuest an in, they take that space. They all the way deep B main, or collected confirmation that they could be pivoting B here. Concern though is that she's still alone no matter how smart she's playing, so the fact that she gets deep in a snowman here is perfect. We'll be forced to give up the space, give up the spike plant here perhaps, but we'll set up this team hopefully for a decent retake. Oh, Jazzy.
30 seconds left.
Oh, 7 bullets. Doesn't want to make the noise to reload. Knows it's good enough for 1. And it is. Even going to keep 4 in the chamber.
Team Ace.
That's how it ends.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is how it ends. With the Hunter's Fury, they take out the round 4 for FlyQuest. And again, the back and forth starts to get gaffed a little bit. FlyQuest starts to pull away.
Fly didn't want to take any chances on that round. Like you mentioned, they wanted to pull ahead. They wanted that 3 streak. And I'm quite surprised. This is about the time where you do see that Aussie and friends time out. So I'm expecting maybe this round they don't use any of the ultimates. And if they don't get a Rogue Thrifty, that we do see it utilized when they have the weapons to match the ult situation. But aside from that, maybe a little A split action this time around. A double peek up over towards mid. I do want to see them punish the space being taken by Fly. We did it before.
Targets destroyed.
It looks like they want at least the mid space. They put the turret up to make sure there's nobody coming on that left side, knowing that Thea got out so far last time. So you're right in that sense. Trying to make sure that FlyQuest doesn't get that encroached space and info. And they're still trying, though. And they're damnedest. They're still going to start pushing. I mean, it's Bob.
But they're already behind. Yeah, at least that's the issue. The turret's so deep, now you know that they're confirmed to be committing to the A site. And the players on site can crunch the players behind and leave Aussie and friends with no options. They speed up here. Jazzy, Lydia, you gotta be aware the turret went off.
Yeah, the timing.
Did Jazzy not comment?
The timing. The cove is there. First shot from Bob. Reset on daggers.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh my gosh, they are just absolutely closing in. No good on the turret, no good on the sensors on the flank. And what a late round push here coming from FlyQuest. Their read on Aussie and friends is crazy.
I mean, at this point, if I'm Aussie and friends, I'm staying in spawn. Hawkeye's mid, main, B.
Thanks.
Like, every round Fly is pushing forward. Looking for info, looking for kills. And I really think Aussie and friends should be able to punish it, but they're kind of falling to that trap of, okay, if we're the better team, we'll win the A fight one time or another. They don't recognize this is more than just an A fight in FlyQuest's eyes. I mean, the turret went off, and they still somehow got the element of surprise there. Kind of looking like they're trying to contribute some additional resources. Riv, starting off watching B main here. But I still need someone to address mid control, and Riv, please, you gotta win this fight against Lace if she pushes through.
To play and spawn. Kind of use that Cypher model to hide back in this dark area, and it can catch people off guard pretty good. But this is the commitment now. If they're not even trying to fake anymore, they're saying, all right, let's team up, let's util, let's standard site, base play, get in. And yeah, Fly is going to let him get the space and play retake, so they're not even getting that util out of Fly right now.
They're going to lockdown as soon as the spike plant goes down. Look at the chip damage off of Ev's shock. like the cove doesn't matter, they'll fly right through it. And as soon as the lockdown sprung, Lace probably gonna move forward, right? Because then you get the pinches and trying to skip the site. Fortunately, Sandy does have this Hunter's Fury. And they still have Rib Deep deposited. Look, this is gorgeous from Aussie and Friends. Finally what we were looking forward to, but it took everything. The Reckoning, the Hunter's Fury, the Deep Lurk from Riv, and Bob hunting for damage here. Hunting for kills to recharge that Blade Storm and just clinging to the operator. They flee to B. Riv's gonna be there as well. I don't think Bob's walking away with this operator.
No, they're searching for it. This
Riv's
last
got it.
one.
Totally. No.
Out of range. 4 seconds. I don't think so.
Oh no!
Oh, the smoke did it. Oh, it does go down. What a huge kill to take the off out of the hands of Bob. That's going to mean another purchase comes through. It'd be okay on that if they win this round. It kind of nullifies what just happened, but it will mean a lot if Aussie and Friends can string this together. And now they're going to switch it up with this kind of success, the understanding they've had at A. They're going to go back to a bit of an unknown, a site that they really haven't had that good a time taking. So we'll see B. This lurk here, it's actually still getting double guarded as you see Jazzykins and Riv staying back.
Yeah, I mean, this Cascade's really given them the B main space time and time again, which right now it seems like that's all they wanted, the orb for the Reckoning, the deep deposit of Marceline. But that's what I was going to mention, is if they are going to commit to the B side, I need to see Marceline get proactive. She's taking these risks on the Yoru time and time again, and it feels like the Jet isn't enabling her to do so in the same fashion right now. And I think that's what's difficult here, is, again, she plays up the theatrics and thrives in it. And right now, I mean, the proactive rotations from Fly, you have the op back over towards B. It's a hard call. I do like the Rift Lurk. Best adaptation of the game from Austin and Friends right now. But it still feels like Fly's playing retake here towards the A site. Ev plays contact, gets out, and look at the rotations.
Yeah, they reset. Yeah, everyone resets. Ev towards the back again, like you said, to get those shock darts in. You can see already prompted, prepped and ready.
30 seconds
There's
left.
one. Slanty down. This code goes up, but it's not going to matter. Second damage goes in, and now all this chip is going to very much so help them as they retake. The op, though, could slow them down if that doesn't start getting shots right off the bat.
Ooh, now this
Nice
is
lock.
nice. I was about to say, this round's a lot cleaner, like not as many ultimates to go around. But the lockdown, a nice touch. Gonna speed up the timeline here for FlyQuest right on this retake. You still have the Riv Lurk as well, deeply developed. Not sure the turret's still up or if LV will be able to respond to it in time, but the pit's out, the visibility's blocked. Lydia, shut down. The Lurk, shut down. It's all down to Marceline. The time's taken away. I think they got it.
Yeah, they got the op in there, you could say. Got it. 1.5 seconds. Not even close, baby. And
Not
yeah,
even.
Not even. And this is ult's about to come online too in just a few pips for the side of FlyQuest as they start to pull away even more. It may be AF kind of squeaking some rounds in, but this is what we saw in the previous on some split kind of too, was that those rounds would come through, but it still seemed like FlyQuest had the upper hand.
I mean, I kind of called the Aussie timeout prematurely last time because they had a plan, obviously very concrete for that A hit off the Reckoning, and it worked out. They got the round. That's that one round we see in 8. And now that they're struggling here yet again, now that you mentioned also going to start coming in for the end of the half, I think AF's confident they can just keep it close. So again, this feels like a make or break round where had a 7-5 on the first, we had a 6-6 on the second. I think if Fly wins this round, it feels like we'll have the most dynamic differential so far in this series. And again, that kind of falls back to you just won second map in a good fashion. You're kind of snowballing here, the confidence on this ego comp.
Yeah. And that's what it is. They gotta have ego with this. Lace flexing between agents. Has to remember it's not smokes anymore. You're going duelist. Yeah, they just have to be super, super aggressive here, especially with Bob going hard with the operator that needs protection. I mean, sometimes Bob can also do the things on her own, so it's sometimes the Bob show. Looks like mid. No, that's just a wall going up. They're going to set up the Sentinel util as well just to get kitchen protected. FlyQuest may get a little bit of a push here once again. Bob looks like they're going to take the rope in And there's assistance being called for at the backside. I should say AF side of A site.
This is interesting. Big commitment towards B right now. Riv has the pit. Like, that feels like a win con if you get the site control. Because we mentioned the flood mentality on the B site past the toxic screen for Fly. And Riv's playing double lurk this time with the Killjoy. With Jazzy. So it's just... Never a B commitment. Like, that's what I need to learn here, Riv. Like, they're just getting the orb leaving every single time. And low-key, Fly needs to learn that too. And it seems like Bob has. Cuts off the pivot back to A. Cascade. Not waited for. Or shot through. And that's one player down. That's Riv down. That's the pit down.
Yeah. That was a big focus for them coming through on this round. They don't have any other ults to be using here. And Bob is easily on an angle. Not even activated either. Feeling comfortable. Yeah, gets it quickly activated. Already got a kill back in.
Fortunately, a trade comes through. The double tap. Not enough to keep you alive when two players are spraying you down. But you called it, Riv. The Bob show. Can she spin up another episode? It looks like it might be canceled pretty much early. Zev takes the star lineup. Nope. Okay, Bob. It was just a supporting actor, actress. It doesn't matter. And just like that, Fly, get that 7th. Get that breaking round for Aussie and friends. And this is where it snowballs. I said it. It's going to be that 8. It's going to be that 9.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier here for AF. Even after the timeout, it's not able to sort what they need to do. It looked great for the round that they had. I think it was more so activated just again off that teamwork we saw from them, hitting the sites together, just playing in a death ball and trying to avoid what this double duelist composition can do, even from the defensive retake. I like this from Fly, already aggressive, kill contract up. And now they can pretty much shut down a play if they want in its tracks. Well, they have to wait for this. Oh!
No distraction.
It doesn't matter if you're revealed, if you're on your own universe. Place. Really good on these conversions, and this time they are as well, despite the worst weapon Slandy tried to bring in. And there's some theatrics about. Now this from Thea, I was just mentioning how they were usually leaving Riv here. They're handling the B main pressure, and just like that, Fly is back to the old antics.
It does seem like they have to use the team. I mean, the one round that you're talking about, they like basically take site with 3, and that was almost a 3K. Where to get that collat there, Bob. Still get and rack up those numbers. Comfort, realizing the push is coming through, dashes out the window, shot from Jazzy. Does Jazzy pick up the knock? It's gonna be a tough grab. They're pushing through. Jazzy jumps down, grabs it. This is gonna be a war.
Hey, she picked it up.
They actually give her one.
30 seconds left.
Almost placed there, ready and raring to fire. Takes down Jazzy. 8 now.
Last round
as FlyQuest really start to pull away. Final round of the first half.
I mean, that was gorgeous, right? Bob destruction mid. Thea trying to play contact off. Yes, some whiff shots, but still the fear there. Like even if they won those fights, they were still in spawn with time getting eaten away. It was an eco though. Now they have some ults, blades, hit. Riv hasn't really gotten to utilize this too impactfully this half. And I just want to see them get onto a site. I kind of like the A exec, low-key. Like, they were getting onto the site A. When they had Riv in spawn, it was working. Leave a different player there. Leave the Killjoy there, because you need that pit. And now, I mean... Mid? How is Riv here this fast? Lace? F?
Boom. Almost unknown. Walking through that pit. There's one of the times they have the orb towards mid, and they're actually really able to use it well instead of have Riv on that flank. But yeah, how? Bob's already pushed up. They had the ping back towards ramp, but it's not even anything that you can see Jazzy can respond to. Still wondering when Jazzy's going to peak because they're wondering if Bob's going to come back. But no, Bob's just on an adventure.
I mean, that was, again, nicely built out by Aussie and friends. The mid pressure draws out the trap. They're like, we want you to push through B long, like Garden, right? And they had 2 players there ready to challenge. But somehow your lurk player is A. Bob slips through over towards Belt, and they're behind you. And that leads to a disadvantaged situation here. Lydia, 2 off Reckoning, you're 2 off, 3 off, lockdown. And just like that, you've got to play forward. You're looking for a kill and advantage to flip the script. And Fly's not giving it to them.
30 seconds left.
Whoa.
Almost another one. Are you really with the trade?
One kill, you pop the reckoning.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, final round. Why not? They hear the stomp. The stampede forward. Oh, it's another win for FlyQuest, even in the pressure round. Lydia, one of the few. She's not able to come up with it, but it is the other star player for this Icebox matchup. iBUYPOWER coming up very strong from the KJ spot in the
Switching
1v1.
sides.
You get her back on this Sentinel, and she's going to swing. Clutching out a really important round again to have that kind of decisive lead here. 9-3 as a side swap. And again, that was a double duelist over on the defense. And I said it, attack, they can just run A. They're out aiming, they can win it out. And, I mean, they're going heavy mid on the pistol. This is... Try to figure out what the pings are looking like here. Looks like just a setup orb lurk for your killjoy. You're still focused on A.
All right, how much more aggressive do they get? So that's a nade towards mid, but is it just a P? Oh, they're going for util destruction. You can see right now iBUYPOWER with the molly out for taking down the turret on boiler. And there it does.
Okay.
They take down the mid util, but the push is already there. The info's there for AF. This could actually go crazy. It seems like they're going to give it up without the first fight happening right away. Oh,
I mean, I really liked that high tide, right? It allowed that trio to scale down towards mid. It kind of set up this question mark of, okay, where do we have control? And now, I mean, question marks gonna start popping up everywhere because an alarm bot's been triggered over towards B. They has slipped in and selling the fake. This is like just like potential energy all around, and we're waiting for the conversion to kinetic. And the spike plan's gonna set off all these chain reactions.
Uh-oh. Not looking good for AF. They start one down here. Bob just toying with Slandy and the Sheriff from on top of the catwalk. Thea's running all the way over here. FlyQuest has taken the site, got really the positioning they want. Numbers down in the situation, but there's still numbers up overall with the lurk coming in.
Oh, and this has been brewing since the get-go. Doesn't matter if you have the plethora of this harbor utility. Probe's about to drop, and look at the awareness from Slandy. The experience shines through. She feels the spidey senses tingling and gets the final kill from the jumping down Viper rafters. And just like that, Aussie and friends get the much-needed pistol round to keep them in this.
Yeah, you can consider that it might Lydia may not have been able to grab that last round of the first half, but starting with the 3, then 4, and having Reckoning come up very quick, that could easily be a way that they get through a bonus round that FlyQuest very much wants to keep themselves with this lead. So, really huge plays from Lydia. The team getting back into the site and being able to bust down the door of FlyQuest to take that one. Bulldogs, the Outlaws we would expect. And Jazzykins is going to keep a low buy here just to make sure that util can come out in later rounds.
Yeah, we can't have a rogue second round thrifty this time around, Aussie and friends. That would demolish the hard work put in to start this half. And Marceline had a really good angle. She's had a quiet map, but is trying to shatter the silence with this outlaw. Fortunately, shot doesn't connect. The reposition. The drone, again, forcing these sniper rifles out of position. Double tap also just makes them not afraid to fight forward here. Oh!
Oh, Slandy thinking they had to look just the other way at the wrong time.
The Bulldog,
And the rest of FlyQuest are going to fly through. Yes, the upgrade is there, and it's biting back. Marceline gets one, but who is going to answer again? It's Bob. And oh my god, iBUYPOWER with a long-range classic? Okay, sure, that works too. Doesn't even matter, but they get the upgrade. And Zobi, that wasn't supposed to happen.
They've converted half of the second rounds, halves, this series. That is a crazy stat line
That is
to have
insane.
if you're FlyQuest Red. Like if you're listening in the future, watching back, like, be careful. Like, this is, I said they couldn't lose that round.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
it's not even like the initiated stinger buys. They're just making it happen with some personal shots and then playing really well around that one super gun.
yeah, I mean, Bob, again, we mentioned slow from map 1.
Yeah.
Has not slowed down since. And, I mean, she's carrying that trophy, that Bulldog from the last round over. Challenging through the high tide, challenging all this space that Aussie Friends was taking, and she takes out Marceline, the star right now for Aussie and Friends.
All right, AF has some bobrums, okay? There's some bobrums. Some bobrums around there right now, and they need to fix the bobrums. This is
How do you bomb 'em?
crazy. You need a solution to this.
Look, Bob's still lurking. They haven't solved the problem. It's just gonna brew until the end of the round when the retake might develop here. And it is. I mean,
Enemy remaining.
the players taking out Snowman, the trade's delivered, the mid pressure's there.
Could have predicted.
Don't even need Bob. The rest of the team's the problem too. 3 players strong on the site. They keep it clean. They get their 11th.
Jeez. Yeah. They have spun this one right around, especially with AF getting the first one. And now we see Aussie and friends pull out all the stops. They got the credit card out. They're swiping. A little retail therapy as they get an op here coming into the 4th round. But they have to reach in the low buy armor. 3 for Marceline to bring out the Blade Storm. They're kind of on deck with some ultimates that could really turn the tide of the game, no pun intended. But FlyQuest isn't letting that happen right now. And they're going to come in strong here. Kill contract is up for this round, and Marceline peering down long B.
Yeah. Unfortunately, kill contract's on the same side as the operator. It sprung, it grabs the Viper, which is the second worst thing that could happen. Toxic screen weakened, Bob's gonna scale. Lace wins the engagement as well. And all this has done is draw the players off of B, so the remaining FlyQuest members are gonna waltz right on, and the round might be over before that, right? Look, Bob! Still looking for kills here.
Oh my gosh.
Enemy remaining.
Someone wants to end the game, Zobi. And that name is Bob. What
Oh,
has
you're not gonna save this
turned
up. You're running
up?
into every player.
Jeez, the last few rounds now a flawless here to put him on game point. FlyQuest 12-4 as this double duelist comp has been unleashed on the attack side.
And Bob, I mean, she's only been powered up. Look, Blade Storm 23-9. All right, Lydia, you got the Reckoning. I like it. Timeout taken as well to recollect around it. Their conversion for timeouts has been pretty good. I think, what do you do here? You're obviously not able to get ahead of this double duelist. Again, double tap, Bob dashing and tailwind and everything on you. Maybe you just play super far back. Like, think about it. Remember, like, we saw, like, Fly have the 4 stack towards B. They had Ev, you know, play for info, play for a deep dart, and then get out screens. Maybe we play an A retake here. Just get out of the way of Bob, right? If you can't beat her right now in this state, you got to outplay her. And I'm hoping that's what the timeout is going to help with. I mean, it feels like, again, fakes upon fakes. FlyQuest is getting away with everything they want. They're getting deep control. Like, don't be as fast to rotate and stay deeper off the sites.
Agreed. I think looking at how they could push a little more towards A, I'd love that. Maybe some early harbor walls. We're not really seeing like the deny harbor walls. We're seeing the retake harbor walls. So maybe that one towards back A where they just completely slow down what FlyQuest would do in the beginning. You know, I feel like FlyQuest's initial push and pull is getting Aussie and friends to be like, oh wait, maybe we do need to rotate. Maybe we do need to get off our initial line or our hard watch here. So
They're going mid.
it looks like it. 2
Fight.
down the
They're
barrel.
gonna high tide.
1 in mid.
The pistol strat. I like it, but I don't like the harbor being in a dangerous position. We talked about the Reckoning being the hinge point. And when Alivili's taking trades like this, they're going to crack open the B site. You have to invest that ult early. And maybe it's at the perfect time instead. You have to survive. Don't let Lace get the refrag. And Lydia, the
beautiful.
Guardian. She always comes alive for these clutch moments when Aussie and friends need it.
How are they going to get this in? How are they going to play this even towards the spike? The orb is there to start denying once they even do tap it. So expect that to come up and be a nuisance for the side of FlyQuest.
You fight forward.
Positioning. Yeah, plan a little bit
doing
forward is going to be the question. They're sourcing
Back
before
to
they do.
back.
They have a full minute here to kind of walk around and trade off each other.
Oh, I don't want you solo swinging this up because, yeah, they'll pivot. And then you don't have a trade ability for play there with Thea. All in all, mid fight works out. Lydia comes online off the Reckoning, and you live to see another day. 7 rounds needed now to get to overtime. If they survive, I think this is going to be one of the more difficult rounds because they survive this round, they'll probably have more ults to work with to culminate this comeback.
Yeah.
And then the big speed bump after that is going to be when it's Fly's ult round. So we'll see if we can get there, get that far, because again, when you've won 3 rounds in a row, FlyQuest is going to have another buy up their sleeve, or 2, I should say. And it's just going to take resiliency at this point.
No ops on the map, which I feel like favors Favors AF right now, and that's going to be one for Riv. Just skirting out of that situation, though, as they do have a lurk towards mid. Jazzy's already ready, and here's the mid pressure. We were looking for something, and it's going to be that mid push to get the info, to get the kills, and really dwindle the numbers of FlyQuest, who somehow made it into A, ready for the 3v5 post plant. Okay, 2v5.
Hey. Somehow find the run BA side. 2v5. And Ham steps up the dink.
No
Secured.
way.
Lace finds the first and the second. Just like that. A great start crumbles into disaster. The comeback thwarted and 13-5. Gotta say, we get the 2-1 victory for FlyQuest Red over Aussie and friends in your Week 3 Swiss stage for Verizon Valorant North American Game Changers.
That I'm really glad we didn't come to camera there because I couldn't pick my mouth up for a few moments. That round should have been AFs. Like, there are a lot of rounds there they can go back and look at to see what they could have taken, because